Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy, Sports and Fitness Rants? I'm back, guys. Click that like button, subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, man. Thanks for joining me again, man. I want to thank all you guys, man, for all the love, man. Got a great video for you guys today. As usual, you know what I'm here to do. To tell the truth about Michael Jordan, to put his career in perspective, put some respect on this man. I can't believe, guys, I cannot believe all these years later, after Michael Jordan has retired, that now all this stuff is being brought up. People are trying to crap on Michael Jordan and his era. I cannot believe this is going on. Because it's not only just young kids that are ignorant, that don't know any better. You expect it from the kids. You expect it from some of these younger people. They don't know. They weren't around. I get it. But we're seeing it from ex-NBA players that are old enough to know better and the mainstream media. Now, some of the people in the mainstream media are not old enough to know better. However, you're supposed to be professionals. But they don't keep it professional. They don't have any integrity. No integrity, right? In the sports media world anymore. There's no integrity. These guys are telling you lies. And my problem is that, because sometimes I see people in my comment section saying things like, yeah, you know, people are saying that we know what kind of people they are. Yes, certain topics I talk about, we know where the fan base is coming from. However, guys, if you turn on the TV and you're watching the mainstream media, a lot of times these guys are lying, especially about Michael Jordan, his era. They are telling straight lies. And a lot of people watch this stuff and they think it's the truth. So they form opinions off of lies. You should never form your opinions based off of lies. But you don't know any better, right? You have to form your opinions based off of the facts. You have to know the facts, the truth. So small channels like me, I'm trying to put it out there, guys. I'm trying. Now, these guys don't care. They'll tell you anything because they just want you to click on their channel. They want you to subscribe, whatever it is. They want you to watch their podcast, whatever it is. They have no integrity. It's not about the truth. A lot of these guys just want to say some crazy stuff to get the views, to get the money. I do not get paid for any of this stuff, guys. That's not why I'm here. I'm not here for money. I'm here to tell the truth. I grew up watching this stuff. That's my childhood. I watched all this. I grew up in the 90s, man. It's not about money or fame or popularity or views or any of that stuff for me. My channel will never be big. I'll never get money off of this. I will never become rich from YouTube talking about the 90s and the 80s and Michael Jordan trying to defend this man from the lies and all the nonsense. That's not what it's about. You guys know what it's about, man. So in this video, guys, I want to speak about Michael Jordan's fundamentals. To me, Michael Jordan is one of the most fundamentally sound players of all time. We've often heard other players talk about this. I'm already sweating, guys. Already sweating, man, 3 minutes into the video. Man, that's how aggravated I'm getting, man. But anyway, guys, you guys know what to do, man. Hit the play button, turn the volume all the way up, man, and let's roll. So, yeah, man, Michael Jordan's fundamentals are unmatched, man. Now, I'm not saying that Michael Jordan has better fundamentals than anybody in the history of the world. What I'm trying to say is that Michael Jordan was just as fundamentally sound as anybody in the league's history, guys. He was, and we've heard other players talk about this. I heard Kenny, the Jet Smith, mention this not that long ago, that he felt that Michael Jordan was the most fundamentally sound player he's ever played against. And he spoke to many things about watching Michael Jordan on the basketball court. He talked about Michael Jordan's boxing out, his footwork. I mean, things that people don't really think about. So when we think about fundamentals, guys, right? We think about basketball. The fundamentals of basketball, what are they? Right? Passing, dribbling, shooting, playing defense, right? All these things. But the fundamentals for a lot of players, especially players the caliber of a Michael Jordan, right? These all-time greats, these legends, most of these guys are fundamentally sound. However, a lot of them were not as fundamentally sound as a Michael Jordan. Because why? A lot of these guys relied on athleticism. A lot of these guys relied on flash, right? But that wasn't Michael Jordan. His game was not predicated on flash and just, you know, like I said, and pizzazz. It was substance, right? His base was there. Because that's what you need, right? A good foundation. To build something, you have to have a foundation. And what's your foundation going to be built on? The fundamentals. Now, the reason I'm doing this video about Michael Jordan and his fundamentals is because it seems to me that Michael Jordan really doesn't get any credit for anything except for scoring now. Now we all know that people like us, we give Michael Jordan the just dues, his credit. We understand his game and how it was predicated. However, for a lot of people, like I've told you, spitting stuff out in the mainstream media now, some of these ex-ball players with these podcasts, or some of these guys who are currently playing that are doing, think about that. These guys are playing in the NBA and podcasting. But whatever, that's a whole other subject. But a lot of these people, they'll say nonsensical things. Guys like J.J. Redick, guys like Jason Williams, White Chocolate, obviously Draymond Green, we know the nonsense that he's been saying over the years. But a lot of these guys are doing this stuff. And they just speak, and they don't give Michael Jordan credit for anything except for just scoring. Once again, we all know that Michael Jordan was much more than a scorer, but this is what they're trying to, diminish him down to. Just a scorer. Oh, Michael Jordan has to score. That's all he had to worry about was scoring. I've actually heard ex-players, and current players talk like that. How dare y'all say that about Michael Jordan, man? So you guys are telling me that the greatest basketball player of all time, the person who's actually recognized as the greatest basketball player of all time by most people, guys, not many, by most, all he did was just score? That's all he did? I don't understand. So when you think about the fundamentals, Michael Jordan had the fundamentals. He could do all of the things, fundamentally sound, right? His jumper, look at his jump shot. It's one of the most beautiful jump shots I've ever seen. The fundamentals are there. His hand placement, all of this stuff. His feet, his footwork. How he would have his shoulders squared up to the basket. Those are the fundamentals. We think about passing fundamentals, right? The chest pass, the bounce pass, the fundamental passes. Not behind the back passes or through the legs or all this other flashy stuff. Yes, I love the fancy passing. I'm a fan of Magic Johnson, the Mark Jacksons, the Jason Kidds, the guys with the pizzazz with passing the ball, even someone like a White Chocolate. However, those are not fundamental passings, right? That's not what you learn when you learn basketball, the fundamentals of basketball. They're not teaching you behind the back passes. They're teaching you the chest pass, the bounce pass, things like that. How to deliver the ball into the post, right? Michael Jordan could do all of these things. I've told you, there was nothing on the basketball court that Michael Jordan could not do at a high level. He could make every pass, every fundamentally sound pass. He could throw the ball into the post to the big man, off the bounce or over the top. We think about Michael Jordan's footwork, right? I've talked about this. We think about Michael Jordan, like I said, playing defense. The fundamentals of his defense. Look where his feet are. He's always in his defensive stance. All of these things. His hand placement on defense. Like, you ever see Michael Jordan's hand placement on defense where his palms are? Right? One up, one out. Watch Michael Jordan. A lot of times we're watching Michael Jordan for the spectacular, for his creativity, right? The beauty of his game. However, like I told you, Michael Jordan's game had a great foundation, which is why he never crumbled. And I told you, he never declined. He was always in his prime because his fundamentals were there. Now, we all know he went to college and played for the great Dean Smith at North Carolina. So that was another place where Michael Jordan was establishing fundamentals. Right? He went there and he practiced and he wanted to get better. He played 3 years in college. Whereas a lot of guys now play 1 year and they go to the pros. They don't have the fundamentals, right? The basic fundamentals. We think about someone like a Tim Duncan, who's actually called the big fundamental. The man's an all-time great legend. And his base was like Michael Jordan's. He had the fundamentally sound game. However, Tim Duncan gets credit for that, for his fundamentals, right? The big fundamental. But Michael Jordan is rarely ever talked about his fundamentals, which is why when Kenny Smith said that and spoke about how he thought that Michael Jordan was the most fundamentally sound player in the history of the game, that resonated with someone like me, man. Because like I said, A lot of stuff in Michael Jordan's career gets lost in the shuffle of his greatness, right? His defense gets overshadowed by his greatness on offense. His leadership stuff gets overshadowed because of his greatness. People talk about Michael Jordan doesn't pass the ball and all he did was shoot and this and that. They lost sight of it. We think about Michael Jordan in the triple threat position. That's one of the first things that they teach you guys when you play basketball, is when you get the ball to go into the triple threat position. Michael Jordan's first step, I told you, is second to none. The black cat, the quick first step. Michael Jordan would get that ball and catch you in that triple threat position. You were at his mercy. You were at his mercy. Michael Jordan could use the backboard just as good as Tim Duncan. I'm going to do a video on that, guys. Michael Jordan's glass game was up there with the best of them. Go watch film of Michael Jordan's first 5 years in the league, guys. You will see Michael Jordan using the backboard on jump shots. Guys, I'm talking about jump shots, not layups and things like that, little baby hooks in the lane. Michael Jordan was using on jump shots. Jump shots. He was using the glass, pumping the shot, hitting the glass, man. Go back and watch the film, guys. I ain't making this stuff up. Michael Jordan came into the league with the glass game. He didn't develop it. His glass game was really nice when he first came in the league. I'm telling you, man. As he got later in his career, he didn't use the glass as much as he did early on because we all know Michael Jordan's jump shot evolved into just straight all nets. Not even hitting anything sometimes. But early in his career, man, Michael Jordan had the glass game. His fundamentals were great. I told you, Michael Jordan always played under control. That's fundamentals. Not being out of control on the court. You didn't see Michael Jordan running down the court, stumbling, running into people, right? Trying to bounce into them to hold himself up. He was always under control. I told you guys about that. You barely saw Michael Jordan taking crazy, bad shots with 2-3 guys on him standing behind the backboard at a bad angle, right? You didn't see that often. Now, yes, Michael Jordan took bad shots from time to time. Absolutely. The shot clock's running down. His other teammates ain't doing nothing that day. Michael, maybe he has to take on more of the offensive load, so he has to take a little bit more tougher shots, right? A little crazier shots. Bad shots. But for the most part, Michael Jordan was always under control because he was fundamentally sound. He had the fundamentals, guys. I told you guys about how Michael Jordan really turned the ball over with such a high usage rate. The ball always being in his hands in crunch time, always having to be the offensive guy on his team, never having a reliable second scorer. But yet Michael Jordan, with the highest usage rate in NBA history, always having to carry his team in crunch time, always having to be the closer, the main scorer, night in and night out, year in and year out. He rarely turned the ball over. Why? Because of his fundamentals. His handle was tight. I told you guys the other day, no, he couldn't do what Kyrie Irving was doing or a Steph Curry maybe, an Allen Iverson. No, that was not Michael Jordan's game. Because I told you, a lot of those guys, they can waste the energy dribbling the ball around, especially someone like a Kyrie Irving. He does a lot of wasted dribbling. To me, it's in my opinion, guys. But he can do that. Why? Because he doesn't have to worry about playing defense. And he's only going to play about 50 to 60 games a season. So he'll have plenty of time to rest and relax and recoup. So he could do all that fancy dribbling and expend all that energy and do all this crazy stuff and dribble for 10 seconds and throw up a shot. Because he'll come back on the other side of the court and just stand around or go through the motions. Or like I said, he'll play 60 games. Whereas someone like a Michael Jordan, he can't waste energy dribbling all over the court with that nonsense. His handle was tight, but he needed to conserve energy to play defense, to be the main scorer and play 82 games, not 60, 82, and be the leader. Man, I'm sweating, guys. It's crazy, man. Forgive me. I get hyped up, man, and my car gets hot. It's crazy, guys. I'm down here on the beach with my family on vacation, man. So, like I said, forgive me, guys, for the sweating and stuff, man. But yeah, the fundamentals of Michael Jordan. You guys know about Michael Jordan's fundamentals, man. This is why Michael Jordan was such a good rebounder at the shooting guard position. Like Kennedy Jeff Smith said, his boxing out. He was always in great position. Watch Michael Jordan, guys. Listen, when I watch Michael Jordan, especially these days, I watch a lot of, films, guys, and stuff like that, right, from back in the day. And I will watch Michael Jordan. Sometimes I only watch him, no matter what it is, what he's doing. If he even always staying at the free throw line, whatever it is, if you watch Michael Jordan, you'll see what a lot of these guys are talking about. Like I said, him boxing out, always being in the right position. His post-up game, right? When he goes to shoot the shot, I've talked about that before. His passing, his dribbling. Everything was fundamentally sound. This is why it was Michael Jordan, man. I do not have to exaggerate Michael Jordan to enhance him. There's a reason why he's recognized as the greatest basketball player of all time, guys. There's a reason why that. There are people that have never even watched Michael Jordan play, but they know. They get it. He had no weaknesses on the court. The fundamentals, man. So shout out to Michael Jordan, guys. As usual, we're going to continue to celebrate this man, tell the truth about this man, put his career in perspective. The fundamentals of Michael Jordan, man. Guys like Tim Duncan are known for their fundamentals, but Michael Jordan is just as fundamentally sound, if not a higher or better fundamentally than a Tim Duncan and some of these other guys that are recognized for having great fundamentals. Michael Jordan's game was not predicated on flash and pizzazz. It was predicated on substance and hard work, determination, grit, will, heart, skill. The fundamentals. Right, guys? You have to have the base. If the base is not there, then everything else crumbles. Michael Jordan's base was built off the fundamentals, where a lot of these guys now, they don't have the fundamentals. So what happens? They come in the NBA, they're not ready. They have to go back to the drawing board. Damn, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one, man.